Hello and welcome to Coffee and Conversation on BTCN. I'm your host, Shashank Bengali. I'm here today with Jerry Innocent Akubo. He's the National Technical Officer for the Nigerian Police. Jerry, thanks so much for joining us. What brings you here to Interpol World? What are you hoping to get out of this week?
Yeah, well, lots of things. First and foremost, to get an update on the future emerging technologies, and to also have some takeaway back home as regards to innovative solutions regards the law enforcement agency and how we can really move forward.
So Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, one of the most technologically advanced countries in Africa. Tell me a bit about you as National Technical Officer. What does that mean for you, and tell us a bit about your work with the police force.
We have to see how we move the core of technology around the Nigerian police and the law enforcement agency in general. For instance, as a National Technical Officer, day in, day out, we need to make sure the core systems are up and running. And apart from that, we bring in innovations and check technologies that are better off than what we using at all points in time.
And we know, of course, Nigeria, with its huge economy, has challenges involving terrorism, involving theft of oil, major problems that the government and the police force have worked very, very hard to combat and have made a lot of progress on. Tell us about the role that technology, particularly drone technology and other advanced law enforcement technology, have helped the police make advances in stopping these problems.
Well, in terms of technology, because essentially Nigeria is vast, and where these crimes happen most time is not at the municipal. They happen in remote areas. And at times these remote areas are not accessible by mere foot or even vehicular movement, because you don't have roads leading there. So essentially what we look out to are innovative technologies, most times aerial technologies that could go into this area and give information, prompt information, real-time information to the command and control. Before now, we use the helicopters, but then we found out that the cost is much. And before you even get there, these guys, they know that a kind of surveillance is coming, and they look for their way out. But presently, we look at presently we use drones that are fitted with the right sensors that could go up to 500 meters above sea level, such that they don't hear the sound, they don't know anything is there, but then we'll use this drone, get there, and comb this environment to know exactly what these bad guys are up to.
And so we know that criminal networks of the kinds that you deal with in Nigeria that have been around for years or decades, they often find ways to get around law enforcement. They are well armed in many cases, they have their own technology. How does the government and the police force stay one step ahead of the criminals?
We aren't relenting, because if we relent, then we'll be left far behind. So, and as a result of that, we'll be looking towards a kind of solution that will give us the best. And that's why presently, just like I told you, apart from innovative area surveillance, we're also looking at remote sensing, because that is the core and that's a feature of law enforcement. Remote sensing has to do with getting core information about what's happening in a particular environment at all points in time, even while there or while not there. Why? Because you have some core sensors planted there.
And we also understand that you have a program called Hawkeye that involves reporting of crimes by members of the public. Can you talk a bit more about that and how helpful that's been for law enforcement to cover areas where maybe your officers aren't able to get to immediately?
Okay, Hawkeye essentially it's an innovation of the new Inspector General of Police. It's more like a software whereby from any part of the country, if you have an issue or if there's a scenario ongoing and you feel it's not normal, it's not ordinary, from your reporting application you can send directly to the command and control center through your iCrime. And what it does is that it automatically logs your complaints into the system. And once they get this notification, a case is opened. So essentially it's like cloud-based, so it's a double check kind of arrangement whereby if you get this information and you don't respond timely, there are still other checks and balances in the system. So it's more like auditing from the top to the down. So in that case, is a full-blown app that we hope from now to the near future, probably in the next 1-2 years, it will be one of the core application that will hold the law enforcement platform and with the public.
The other thing, unfortunately, that some people outside the country know about Nigeria is the source of all the advanced fee scams, the 319 scams. Obviously, technology is a big part of that. The internet being used for trying to trick people and scam people. Tell me about the progress Nigeria's made in stopping these guys. I know it's been a big priority of the government to do this.
Well, there's been an agency that has been set up for this recently. I think for the past 10 years they've been on this, which is called the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and they've had a lot of breakthrough recently as it regards to curbing the internet crime, popularly known as Yahoo boys and all the rest of that. Presently, there are lots of ways and options of curbing these guys. For instance, if you go to the banks now, presently, there is a mandate to all accounts via the BVN, such that if funds is coming internationally or locally, there has to be a source. Where is this fund coming from, or what you've done with this fund? If DHL is coming, unlike before where you have free DHL, anybody goes and pick based on wire transfer and the rest, all these are being checkmated by reliable sources. So I think with this, in the near future, it will be a thing of the past.
Well, thanks very much, Gary. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on Coffee and Conversation on BTCN. I'm Shashank Bengali, and we'll see you next time.